Now let's take a look at a review of multiplying polynomials, and these have previous week's videos have multiplying polynomials if you want more examples. But here's one example. Let's say you have a monomial and you are multiplying it to some type of polynomial. In that case, we'll use the distributive property. So I take all of 6x cubed and I multiply all of that to 3x squared. So 6 times 3 gives me 18, and x cubed times x to the second gives me x to the fifth. I add the exponents. 6x cubed times 2x gives me 6 times 2 gives me 12, and x cubed times x gives me x to the fourth, because that is saying x to the first, and we add the exponents. And then 6x cubed times 1 gives me 6x cubed. I look at this and see, can I combine like terms? And the answer is no, because they have the same variable, but they do not have the same variable raised to the same power. So that is my answer right there. That's using distributive property. If I have two binomials, I can use FOIL, which stands for first, outer, inner, last. So here's a binomial, here's another binomial. My first is 2x times 3x. My outer is 2x times 4. My inner is 1 times 3x. My last is 1 times 4. Now I'll go ahead and multiply, so that gives me 6x squared, that gives me 8x, that gives me 3x, that gives me 4. I can combine like terms. The only like terms are right here, 8x and 3x, which gives me 11x there. Cannot combine anything else. There are no other like terms, so that is my answer. Another example would be multiplying a binomial and a trinomial. And there are two different ways you can do this. You can either use distributive property or you can use the column method. It does not matter to me which method you use. Either one is just as good as the other. They'll give you the same answer. If I do distributive property, I'll take this x, first multiply it to each term that's in that trinomial. Then I'll take this 2 and I'll multiply it to each term that's in that trinomial. And then I will multiply combine like terms. So here I did x times 3x squared, x times 4x, x times 1. Then I do 2 times 3x squared, 2 times 4x, 2 times 1. Then I multiply these all through. Then I combined like terms. And this is what I ended up with. Now, column method does the same thing. It's just a different way to organize it. So I put the trinomial on top, 3x squared plus 4x plus 1. I put the binomial down here, and I multiply just like I would with regular multiplication. So 2 times 1 gives me 2. 2 times a positive 4x gives me a positive 8x. 2 times 3x squared gives me a positive 6x squared. In regular multiplication, we'd put a 0 in the spot for our next row and move over 1. So I get x times 1 gives me a positive 1x, x times 4x gives me a positive 4x squared, x times 3x squared gives me a positive 3x squared. Then, just like in regular multiplication, I add those two columns, so I get 3x cubed plus 10x squared plus 9x plus 2. Gave me the exact same answer that I got up here. Does not matter how you get there. Here is another example. This says 2x plus 3 squared. In this case, you can use the formula, which says a plus b squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. In this case, what is acting like your a is the 2x. What is acting like your b is your 3. So you would just go to this formula and fill in the pieces. So where it says a, I'm going to put 2x. And so then I have 2x squared plus 2 times 2x plus my b value is 3, plus b squared, well my b was 3, so 3 squared. 2x squared is the same as saying 4x squared, and then this is plus 2 times 2x times 3 gives me 12x, plus 3 squared gave me 9. So this is how I can solve that using the formula. Okay, let's say we didn't remember the formula. You can write out what it means and use FOIL. So what does it mean to be 2x plus 3 squared? Well, that means 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3. And if I went and FOILed that, I'd get 2x times 2x gives me 4x squared. 2x times 3 gives me 6x. 3 times 2x gives me positive 6x, and 3 times 3 gives me a positive 9. Combine my like terms, and I get 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. Notice, it's the exact same answer I got up here. So whether you use the formula or if you write it out and FOIL it, that is fine. One thing I want you to notice, that 2x plus 3 squared does not equal 4x squared plus 9. Be careful. This is a common mistake students make. But this is not the same thing as saying 2x times 3. And if that was squared, well, that's a whole different thing. Okay? So here is when you do distribute out the 2. But here, you can't take the 2 and just have it go to that and this. You need to write out, what does this mean? It means 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3.